Thinx is a brand that was created in 2014 by Radha Agrawal, Miki Agrawal, and Antonia Dunbar. This recent brand of feminine hygiene is called Thinx and is divided into three different brands: Specs, BTWN, and Thinx, specialized in underwear. The three founders wanted to create a new brand of underwear that can be worn during menstruations or anytime. Thinx offers different products for the different needs of every person that have periods. Today in the world, menstruations are still taboo, and this was even more accurate 8 years ago. According to a study of the group SCA in 2017 and another one of Thinx in 2018, 58% of American women declare that they are ashamed when they have their periods. In 2014, the objective for most women was to hide it when they are their periods, and advertisements about feminine hygiene were not very developed. The creators of Thinx had the will to create a brand of underwear that could make women comfortable with menstruations, make it a normal subject. With this objective, they launched Thinx and numerous advertisements promoting this open-mindedness and the standardization of the subject. In 2019, Thinx presented a new ad campaign named Menstruation, showing an imagined world where everybody would have periods, including men. This campaign was the first Thinx ad to be on TV and the first of this kind to be made by an underwear company. This advertisement has been made to erase the taboo about menstruations. Now that we have talked about the history of the advertisement, we are going to describe the image in order to understand the message of Thinx with this campaign.
In the foreground, we find three women and a transgender man wearing the brand's underwear or a simple t-shirt as a top. The latter and the women are facing us, while the other two women have their backs to us. The advert sends us a very nice message, thanks to the diversity of the bodies it offers us. Indeed, we find a young white woman, thin up and blonde, next to a mixed-race woman with beautiful curly hair and some curves, who is herself next to a mixed-race woman with smooth brown hair, neither thin nor corpulent. Not to mention the transgender man standing to them, white and with short hair. These four individuals are holding each other by the arms, which makes the contrast between the different skin color even more obvious. The background is extremely simple, a simple light pink color in the background, which makes the four people stand out. The underwear of the three women is a light pink color, while the transgender man has blue period panties and a white shirt.
The choice of the pink color is not at random. The pink in marketing represents cosmetics and beauty. The four persons are very different. They don't look alike physically. However, they hold each other. They seem united to fight against the same prejudice about appearances and period. Finally, they are wearing four different knickers to show and promote collection diversity. In this third part, we will analyze the advertisement and see how it represents elements of American culture and history. First, the advertisement is innovative compared to American culture and its history. Indeed, menstrual period is still a taboo subject in the United States. For example, 55% of American women were unprepared for their first period, according to a study by one poll. There was a real challenge for the brand Thinx to break this convention. They create an ad where everyone can feel represented. As we just said, we can see three women and one man pose with only a t-shirt and underwear. The diversity of people selected is very interesting if we look at the history and the culture of the United States. In fact, there are two black women and it is important. For years, they have suffered from violence, but also from lack of recognition. They seem proud, and it's a good step for the future. Thanks to this ad, we can hope that this subject will no longer be a taboo. It shows the open-mindedness in the men. Indeed, this ad features cisgender men. We can suppose that he is a transgender person because he wears a period underwear. However, he is a cisgender man. Gender identity is the same as the sex assigned at birth. So, even if he is a man, he still has his period. This is an invented ad to fight against stereotypes. Indeed, this advertisement can help transgender men to feel free to talk about their periods. So, this is why it is important to remember the history of the United States in link with the LGBTQ people. Through history, we could have seen racist remarks, violence against all the LGBTQ community. Homosexuality has been illegal for the majority of American history. Even if, nowadays, they have more rights, there are still current issues such as the access to health care, especially for transgender people. This issue fits well in the current context. Men need and have to get access to sanitary protection. That is what the creators and the marketing team of the brand understood. Their campaign is the first ad to encourage and promote period underwear for women and men. This is why they named their campaign Menstruation.
Thanks to this ad, on the one hand with the TV advertisement and on the other hand with this printed ad, Thinx has succeeded in bringing the subject of menstruation to the fore with fineness, lightness and inclusiveness. This ad, although it is divisive, allows Thinx customers, prospects, or even unconcerned people to think differently. In including men in the menstruation campaign, the brand allows to include the majority of the US population, and it has been reinforced by the 2 black women and the 1 plus-sized. The artistic choice to feature a cisgender man in the ad turned the interest in the menstruation subject also into cisgender men. It no longer affects only women or transgender people, as Thinx had previously run advertising with transgender men. The brand also carries more gender-neutral styles that are inclusive of all people with periods. It means that everyone is concerned by this phenomenon. About the sales and visibility issues, Thinx recruited advertising agency BBDO to create the campaign run on 18 networks across the US. From NBC to Bravo. Also in the mix are audio segments that will air on Spotify and podcast advertisements. This ad certainly makes a statement on its own, but the intent is to introduce things to people who don't even know period underwear exists, let alone know the brand, and turn them into customers. While Thinx has customers across the country, its base tends to be in urban areas. A key piece of this is we need people to know that we exist, said Maria Mullen. The challenge of the brand was to create very thought-provoking brand campaigns, and it worked. The ad has given rise to many reactions, whether good or bad, but many reactions and visibility. Thinx secured a $25 million investment, its biggest funding round to date, from personal care company Kimberly-Clark. About 75% of that investment is going toward the campaign and other marketing initiatives, but the tie-up will also help get Thinx products in front of more consumers through mainstream retailers like Walmart and Target. In early 2021, Thinx launched a more affordable underwear line meant to be sold in mass retailers that costs under $20 per pair. The brand clocked $50 million in sales in 2019, and Thinx is already selling its wares globally across 60 retailers. About 30% of the company's business is outside the US at the moment. But Mullen believes that they're just getting started. We have pretty big ambitions and want to be a $500 million company in the next 8 years, she says. And in order to do that, you have to be a global brand. Today, the brand Thinx has allowed the menstrual industry to develop itself, democratize speech about menstruation, and is considered as a pioneer in menstrual panties.